There we go. I don't think I'm gonna have much of a background. I just needed to make this video. It's a live stream, maybe for myself in the future. I have a little list here of, you guys can't see it, but I have a little list of reasons why I left. And since I've left, life has been easier in some ways, harder in other ways. Mainly through the years that I've been in the organization. Because I was born into it, I was always taught to not look outside. Looking outside is bad, even especially if it was with other churches or other religious organizations, no matter what they were. If they drifted from Christianity, if they were Christianity, regardless, it was bad to look outside. It was bad to associate with people outside, no matter who they were. It didn't matter if they were well-educated people. If they didn't see the things the same, if they didn't see the world the same way as it was taught in the organization, then talking with them was bad. It was, if you did that, you were talked about in the congregation. People would distance themselves from you very quickly because you looked outside. You were always watched to see if you would do it again. So to me, one of the biggest reasons why I left is because it's a cult. You're not allowed to think outside of any of the teachings. If you question something, you don't have enough faith, you don't love Jehovah or Jesus. If you saw something that like an elder would do and you would question it, it would be reprimanded quickly through scriptures, but twisted in their own words. Because of their title, they're right. And if you question that, then you didn't love God or Jesus. I saw a lot of hypocrisy in that. Growing up in it, being born into it, you don't see it right away. And there were times when I did see it, I would want to leave. I would make it obvious that I was leaving. I was countered with threats, fear-mongering. You're gonna die out in Satan's world. So basically, anyone who isn't serving in the organization is serving Satan, which is ridiculous. Regardless of whatever evidence is there in your face, the only correct answer is what they're teaching, which can change whenever they want it to. I'm not gonna pull up any information on their website. I have researched information on their website when I was in there. None of it ever connected to me. None of it made sense to me. Being that most of my family that I know is in there, it's like a double layer. Inside and outside. This is all that there is. Don't think out of it. Regardless of what I wanted to do with my life, it was basically always taught, put this first and foremost no matter what, because this is how your life is going to be, whether you like it or not. And you're forced to live this way. And you have no say-so in the matter whatsoever. I've always been attracted to games, magic, which magic is just a straight no in there. You're not allowed to interact with anything that's considered magic, even if it's not magic technically. You're not allowed to interact with it. If others found out about it, you were watched because you weren't doing what the rules said that you should do. So like, I've always been heavy into gaming. It's probably what has gotten me through most of this. And like I said, when there's that double layer of, you can't, when you're in the Kingdom Hall, that's what you talk about. When you're out of the Kingdom Hall, that's what you talk about. The way that I was brought up, raised, self-expression was bad, a lack of faith. You didn't love your God, so you're worthless and pathetic and you don't appreciate your life, which is wrong. And regardless of the pain that they would put others through, that they put members through, it's okay because it's, they call it Jehovah's love, which it's not. It's manipulation and breaking a person down so they can only see one way. And they have no other avenues to go to in life because you don't see anything else. That's all that you are taught to see. When I was a kid, it wasn't, it was strict, but it's gotten a lot worse since the website came out. You know, the videos out that they put out, it's basically taught you should only watch these videos. Going to the movies to see worldly content, bad. Watching TV to see worldly content, bad. Listening to music that is not theirs, worldly content as they call it, bad. So there's no chance for self-exploration. There's no chance for someone learning about themselves or learning to grow. My family that I know, the only family that I know, it's not my whole family. There's parts of my family that I don't know about. And when I asked about it, I was told, well, these people don't matter because they don't serve Jehovah. They're in Satan's world. Why would you want to associate with anyone in Satan's world? Why take things to the extreme of cutting off a whole side of your family and doing that to your children also for something that they call the love of God? Because according to the Bible, God created everyone. So why cut that off? But that's something that's taught very heavy there. Another part of it is you see something going on, no matter what it is, it doesn't matter if it's with children, if it's theft, if it's some murder, you don't go to the police. You leave that in Jehovah's organization and you tell the elders and you put your trust and faith in Jehovah that things will be resolved. The whole justice system is pushed aside for Jehovah's honor. You don't put your faith in police that the justice system would work out, that things would go well. You don't report things that happen to you or to the ones around you to the police. You tell the elders, is what is taught in there. Never agreed with that. Saw it happen so much. Was told many times this throughout my life. Had things happen to me, I have gone to the police about those things now. Being scared to do so because of fear-mongering, of elders threatening you with things. Your life is gonna fall apart, you're gonna go homeless. I was told if I ever made a video like this that everything would be taken from my house. They would take my computer away, they would take my phone away, they would take my tablet away, whether I'm in the organization or not. Yeah, my heart is actually racing from making this, but there's no connection. Any connections with outside, it's like you have to hide it almost. Your social media tracked because you could be doing something that is not approved by your elders or by the organization. Leads me to the second reason I left. Feeling out of place no matter where I went. You go to, for me it was school and work. School being grade school, college, and work. I never felt like I could connect with other people. If I did, I felt like I was being like having two personalities or being a two-faced person for not like I would genuinely like talking to this person, you know? I would want to know more about the people that I talk to, you know? But at the same time, I would have this feeling in the back of my head that, you know, I'm being two-faced about it. But this was also because I was baptized at the age of 12, not because I wanted to be, but because of family pressure and pressures from people in the congregation, like older adults. And like I said, I was born into it. I grew up in it. So that being the double layer inside and outside, it's kind of something like, yeah, I'll do this, and so I can feel like I'm worth something, and I can feel like that I'm I can feel like I have value in life, and it's pressure. It's just pressure from others. So in doing that, and they call it you dedicate your life, blood and all, to Jehovah. Like, I was 12. I didn't understand that. Just wanted to see my parents be proud of me and be happy. And honestly, it wasn't worth it. Like, the biggest robbery of my life. I've seen others go through the same thing. They get baptized. They got baptized too early. They get put through a ton of shame for it, which I was, because I didn't want to be. Like I said, I was just doing it to get recognition from those around me, not because I wanted to. But then again, that pressure that they put on children is very strong. So when I would go out with others, I could never feel like I could really express myself. If I did, it would almost be like I was betraying some part of me, because they put it in all their articles, the Watchtower, their Kingdom Ministry, or weekly Christian ministry, whatever they call it now. Your dedication is the most important day of your life. Marriage, the birth of your child, all of that, that's second. But your dedication is the most important thing in your life. And trying to connect with other people that are not inside, it just felt like I was just being fake with them. So I wouldn't really talk to people. When I would go and talk to the members inside, I wouldn't still felt out of place, because I wasn't being real with myself that I shouldn't be in here. This is not what I want with my life. This isn't. And this is growing up. This is a kid, teenager, young adult. I'm 31 now. A group of people that I felt like I belonged with, when I was already with a group of people that I was pretty much, from a child, or I guess preteen, forced to dedicate my life to, doesn't match up. At least not with me. So no matter what I did, it was like the short end of the stick. And because of that, I gave the short end of the stick to others too, because I couldn't be my full self to them. And it wasn't fair to them, wasn't fair to me either. No connections with outsiders outside of like work. But work, or maybe like when I was in school and you had some type of school project or something, and the teacher pairs you up. Other than that, no. If you're in school and there's or work, and there's a like party going on for like Halloween, Christmas, Easter, birthday party, anything outside of, what was it, like anniversaries and like company anniversary, or like the end of year block party for like the school, that they would have sometimes. It just always felt like judgment, no matter what. Because you know that the person that you're talking to sees that you're not being your full self with them. So they get disinterested. They're not interested in talking with someone like that. It's just like you're putting on this fake face, and they see right through it. Whenever I would go out preaching, I would never feel like, this is like real. I believe in this. This is what I want to do with my life. I would just feel like I was lying to these people, because I didn't believe in it either. So even in that, I didn't feel any connections with outsiders from that were not in the organization, that were in the organization when I was in. And I would try to go up and talk to them. I'm like, I don't even believe what you believe in. I'm in here because my family's in here. And if I go out, I lose connection with my family completely. Just total, complete isolation, because one of the things that they teach is shunning. When a person leaves the organization, family members are to have as little contact with them as possible. And if they don't, those family members that are in the organization are shamed for it, because you're speaking to someone who does not believe, basically they put it, does not love God, does not have respect for God or Jesus, because they left the organization. I didn't see of any way where I would have any point in, or any possibility in having a happy life. You go out to bar, or you talk to people, and people talk about their family, people talk about trips, people talk about what they do with their family. They talk about graduations, weddings, things like this. If you're out of the organization and you're not, and your family is in, you're not invited to those things. You're not part of your family anymore. If your family's in the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses and you're not, which leads back to it being a cult. If for any reason you, like, I chose to just go out because I couldn't do it anymore. It just felt like I was just wasting my life and I had no purpose in my life. So, but if someone were to be disfellowshipped, which I disassociated, they disfellowship you anyway. But if someone were to do something that they didn't approve of and they disfellowship them, there's instant cut off with your family. And if your family members associate with you, they're shunned for it. Or not, yeah. They're pretty much shunned from the rest of the congregation for it. They're looked down upon, they're talked bad about. And I mean, I love my family, didn't want to put them through that, but also couldn't keep doing that, couldn't keep feeling fake, couldn't keep feeling like no matter what, I wasn't giving something my all. Couldn't feel like I wasn't being fake to other people, which I hate that. If you think I'm an asshole and you don't like me, that's fine. But at least I was myself and not, or be fake and so they would like me. I've always hated that. And that's something that I got a lot of backlash for, because I would never want to talk to people, because I'm a gamer. I like games. That's what I like. I like games. But in there, you couldn't talk about it. That was part of Satan's world. So no matter what, if I was talking to someone that was outside, I felt bad for it, because I was in there and you're not supposed to do that in there. Or if I was talking to someone about that was in there, I would have this thing going on where it was, you're not supposed to talk about that. You're supposed to be talking about what the society says and what they think. Even when reading the Bible, like, you can't just read the Bible and enjoy the story. You have to read the Bible and perceive it the way that they want you to perceive it. And if you don't, then you're an apostate, because you don't see things the way that they see them. your teachings don't match theirs, therefore you're going against the societies. I'm not going to say Jehovah's, because to me, Jehovah is one of the many gods worshipped, and not everyone who worships Jehovah is a Jehovah's Witness. So I'm not going to say that. A story can be perceived in many different ways. It can have, people can look at it from many different aspects and get many different teachings from it. But if it wasn't their teachings, then you were wrong. If you questioned it, you were looked at as bordering being an apostate. They didn't believe in hell, but they did believe. To me, this is another thing that's never made sense. They didn't believe in hell, but they believed in that you would be eternally destroyed or eternal damnation, not believing in what they believed in. And teachings that I've learned when I was a kid have been backtracked on from the organization. That's, as they say, no longer moving along. I'm just going to say the organization's chariot. They call it Jehovah's chariot, but you're no longer moving along with the organization's chariot. So you've learned needs to be unlearned, and they need to stuff something else in there. When things are proven wrong, I put down backtracking, but they don't really backtrack. They just drop it and say that you're an apostate for not believing what they believe. You're going against God's order, and you're not, it's almost like you're not someone to be trusted. You're looked at as someone that is completely following Satan. And this could be from questioning something that they put out. Like if you would go up to an elder and ask them something, and it doesn't match up with what is written down, you're on the border of serving Satan. Out of all the people that God has created on earth, or that is on the earth, only these people are right. And that's it. And if you think outside of that, then their teachings are that you don't appreciate your life, you have no purpose in life, and you are looked at as being a corrupted person. Probably the last reason I left was I never felt connection with my family. Sad to say, but I've always wanted that connection, but I've never felt it. And it just goes back to having these forced ideals that if you question them, you're a bad person, you're shamed, your family is shamed for not correcting you and keeping you in line, and you're not someone that is to be associated with or taken seriously. You don't think the way that they do. You don't have the cultured thinking that they have. If you don't have that, then you've lost your connection with God. You don't deserve to have life. You don't deserve to have friends. You don't deserve to have peace because of it. Because who can have peace when they constantly feel like that they're being judged? Which at this point in my life, I could care less. Just keep going. Because no matter what you do, you're going to be wrong, and you're going to be shamed for it, and you're going to be condemned for it. And they talk about how after someone has been disfellowshipped, been shunned from their family, been thrown out into a place that they weren't allowed to learn about, because you're not allowed to learn about the outside world, because everything that's outside of Jehovah's Witnesses organization is bad. Talking to your co-worker could make you a crackhead. And to believe that multiple beliefs can work together, bad. You can't do that. Explore an education that is outside of Jehovah's or the organization's education is looked down upon because of the teachings of evolution. Everything has to be created. Nothing can adapt to a climate and evolve to live over time. That's looked down upon. Going to college, looked down upon. Having any type of hobbies, you have to, or they want you to always have their music playing in the background, because listening to other music outside is bad, because maybe people might get ideas. Having someone, like, if I were to meet a girl that I liked, and she wasn't one of, or even if she was one of Jehovah's Witnesses, your significant other and your friends' actions would constantly be looked at, especially in my family at least. They would be looked at, and if something didn't agree with what they thought, they would find an article and bash them about it. I never wanted my friends to be around that. I never wanted my friends to be around, that kind of like negativity. Like, be who the fuck you are and don't hide it. And that's something that's like, I feel like has like broken my connection with wanting to meet people, because I'm always wondering in the back of my head, like, of course, we all have skeletons in our closet. But at the same time, like, of going through all that all my life, like, being taught to hyper analyze someone and their actions, it makes you not want to trust people. At least it does me. And I try my best to like cut that off, but it's still there. It's still like super strong. And it's something that like I learned from that place. Truly be yourself is bad. It's taught as not being a normal part of life. And that's from like childhood up. Like, being you is not normal. That's what's taught. You need to have the cookie cutter mold that they put out for you. And if you don't fit in it, then you have no purpose in life. And you're destitute for failure, which is taught. You're destitute to have problems all throughout your life because you didn't follow the organization's way. No matter which way you look, it's just there that you're going to fail. So why even try? Stay with what the organization says, because that's the best thing out there, is what it's taught, and it's not. I don't know how shunning someone, like, for me, I don't find it to be that bad, because I never felt like I had a connection with my family to begin with. But I have seen it with others where it just destroys them, because they genuinely have deep connections with their family, and that's gone now. And that's supposed to be love. That's supposed to be something that's like something that what they call a loving God is supposed to permit. Because to me, that sounds like tyranny, and it sounds like fear mongering, and that if you don't do this, then you're absolutely going to fail and die. And the only way you can get out of it is by coming back and living this lifestyle. Being in a suit, or if you're a woman, a dress, clothing is judged heavily. Anything that someone inside the organization may see, if it, I guess, triggers them, then it's taught that you shouldn't do it. If it's something that's like that could, I think they call it causing them spiritual downfall or something like that, which to me, if you don't like someone, then get away from them. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to be around them. But it's just this hyper analyze yourself and everyone else, never enjoy life, and always be worried about what other people think. Fuck what other people think. And like I said, people love sports. I like sports, but I like esports more. I like gaming. I was looked down upon because I played games. I was looked at as bad association. This person talks to people on the internet who he doesn't know. They weren't part of Jehovah's organization. I've tried to, like in school, my parents would never let me do any school sports, any school activities whatsoever, because of the fear of it taking me away from the organization. And I pleaded with them, nope, you can't do that, because it could affect your love for the organization. And it did, because I have no love for it. So the biggest thing is, and this is a really important thing, is that when crimes are committed, they are not reported to the police. When children are hurt, it is not reported to the police. It is kept secret. It is, and they don't tell you like who's, if someone is like a convicted sex offender, has done something to be guilty of being a convicted sex offender, but has not been charged or registered because it hasn't been reported to police, because they tell people, we need to keep this thing inside of Jehovah's organization or Jehovah's Witnesses organization. And so it does not reflect badly upon us, upon their organization. They don't tell people that. They'll take kids away from their parents for service, and the parents are just told to, this is a God's one true organization, and you should never have doubt in the elders. They're here to shepherd the flock, and be assured that your child is in the best of care. And people won't question it. I don't have a child. I don't know what having kids is like, but I know what I've seen, and I know what I've been through as being a child in this organization. When stuff happens, people don't know about it, inside or outside. The only ones that know are the offenders and the victims, and that's it. And there have been cases where I have said something about things that have happened to me, and have been told that I didn't put enough faith or love in my God, so that's why I'm feeling this way. I've seen that happen to others. There's plenty of videos out there of that having been happened to others. The more that they can get away with it, the more that they're going to do it. I've gone to the police about what has happened to me. I can't remember how old I was. I only remember entering and leaving the Kingdom Hall, and I remember the room that I was in, but I was forced to lay down on the table, and they pulled my pants and underwear down. Forced me to lay in that position for some time. I reached out to other elders about it, we need to keep this in Jehovah's organization. Anytime I did want to go to the police, the only thing that would come back to me is it wouldn't be worth it because I would be distanced from my family. I did tell members in my family, they believe that there's no way that that could ever happen in Jehovah's organization or in Jehovah's Witnesses organization. But this shit does happen. And worse things have happened to other people than what happened to me. There's a number of CSA cases against them. And they've now started charging members to be in the organization. When I was in there, it was just donations. I regret being in there for so long. I regret not doing it sooner. I regret being afraid because elders would come up to me and make threats to me because they would know. And they would know that they would have that edge on me. I've been threatened that if I talk about it, if I speak about anything negative towards the organization, that things would be stolen from me. If you're someone that this has happened to and you're not doing something about it for yourself, then they're stealing your life away anyway. They're stealing your years away. They're stealing your happiness away. And it's not worth it. I am happy that I did look into other religions while I was in there. And it's not just something, well, why didn't you just come out? Why didn't you just disassociate yourself like you are now? And it's because of the fear that they put through their rhetoric. And so they can keep doing what they're doing. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know if what they say is true or not. I can't tell the future. But I'm happy that I did it. And I'm happy that I chose to do what I did. When I did it, I wish I would have done it sooner, but I can't go back in time. I was told that if I ever made a YouTube channel and talked about this, that it would be taken down. I do feel like that I'm being watched by them because right after I made the video stating that I was disassociated, and that's something else too, when I moved congregations, they changed my name. Didn't tell me anything about it. They changed it from Christopher Aragon to Chris Aragon, which is still a name change. Why they did that, I don't know. But they do treat people, as they say, like cattle in there. You are 100% a sheep when you're in there. And because I have come out right after I made that video, I got a notification that this channel was following me. Armageddon is coming. So I say, I wonder what this is. I thought maybe it was another gaming channel because all I post on YouTube, besides these videos and my paranormal hunting videos, are gaming videos. So I open it up, and it's a video, it's a channel dedicated to Jehovah's Witnesses. So even if you come out of there, they're still going to follow you. They're still going to watch you, and they're going to want to know what's going on. I want nothing more than to block this channel, and so it can't do that, but I don't know how to make a channel unsubscribe from me. And when I was in there, I've had my phone taken from me as a teenager. look through. There's no type of privacy. I've had them try to do that to me as an adult. I didn't let it happen. But it's just they want to have tight grip on their members. And so they can continue to control and manipulate. Social media was one of the big things that was constantly watched. Elders would make dummy accounts, go around and follow others for whatever reason, stalk others online. And even now, like I said, even being out there, out of the organization for like 6 months or so, I still feel like that the same things are happening. But something that I've never understood is why people who claim to promote God, like when I was a child, it's just one of the reasons why I do, like I have like hours of recordings of EVPs, and why I got into Spirit Talker and why I got into necrophonics, things like that. It wasn't just because of the channels that I watched, but I've always felt things touching me. I would hear out of, just out of nowhere, whispers in my ear. I would wake up at night and I would wake up with scratches on my arm, like literally something just would like claw me on my arm. This still happens today. I would go to these spiritual shepherds and ask them about this. Now, I guess that's something else. I've never been in a church. So if you're in a church and I say something that's not true, please don't be offended because I'm not familiar. But like preachers or pastors or I guess fathers bless houses, right? And they protect against evil spirits. They protect against demonic spirits. These people never did that. Oh, your faith isn't strong enough. Oh, you're not being spiritual enough. That's why that's happening. They never did their job to me. They were just there to use up whatever life I had and to make sure that what happened never got out. And while I do feel stupid for not saying something sooner to authorities, it's just a feeling that you can't, because everything that you have known, including your family, that your life would be ripped away from you. Disgusting that, I mean, there's been a number of articles of other religious organizations doing the same thing to children, but then this one is no different. It's the same. It's no different, even though they claim to be the one true religion. The cover up on it is the same. And if you move from one congregation to another, whatever there is about you, that congregation is going to know. And if it's something that needs to be hush-hush, they'll do their best to make sure it's hush-hush. But those are the reasons why I disassociated and why I left.